Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another video where I test products to see if there's any traces of gluten in them. And today we're doing McDonald's. Now I don't typically eat at McDonald's because, as you can imagine, it's not necessarily a celiac friendly place. However, I wanted to try it out because I had heard that McDonald's fries are indeed gluten-free. That doesn't mean that there isn't the possibility of cross-contamination, of course, but the ingredients themselves are gluten-free in Canada, whereas in the US, they have an ingredient that has gluten in it. So I thought that was really interesting. So I went ahead and I picked up a small fry and I'm going to test it out with the easy gluten test strips. And then I also picked up just a burger patty. So no bun, no even lettuce wrap, nothing on it. Looks kind of gross, but just a plain burger patty because again, this is supposed to be just 100% pure beef and I wanted to test it out. So just like in my last video where I tested Tim Hortons products, here's my little disclaimer. None of these restaurants are claiming to be a gluten-free facility or a gluten-free environment. I simply went onto the website and then looked at the allergen list and found a few products at McDonald's specifically that didn't include gluten in the ingredients. However, that doesn't mean that cross-contamination is not a risk. These restaurants contain a lot of foods with gluten ingredients and anything can happen at any time. If my products test safe, that doesn't mean that the next time I order them, they're going to test safe as well. This is more of just like a fun experiment and obviously just use your own discretion, specifically if you're celiac, before eating any of these products. All right, so I'm gonna get going right away. Again, I'm using the Easy Gluten Test Strips, and there's a number of different things I need to do here. I have this vial of liquid that I start with, and then I take the vial of liquid, I take some out and I put it in these test tubes, and then at the end, I use the test strips, and then we look at the results. Okay, I'm gonna get both samples going at the same time because they do take a little bit of time to process, but I'm supposed to put a sample in the spoon here, which is kind of difficult with a fry, but I think I'm just gonna break off a piece or maybe a couple pieces. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so there's my little sample of fry, and I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands quickly just in case that did have any gluten before I touch the hamburger. Okay, next up is the burger. So I'm just gonna try and cut a piece out of it, see if that'll work. All right, there we go. We have our little piece of hamburger. So let's open up the first container. It's got a liquid in it. We're gonna throw the fry in there and then cap it. Do the same with the burger. Okay, there they are. So now I'm just gonna gently invert them for 2 minutes. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes. So now I'm going to put them down on this counter and just leave them for 5 minutes. While I was waiting here, I was just looking to see if I could find any other products at McDonald's Canada that didn't have gluten ingredients. And shockingly, the poutine doesn't have any gluten ingredients. I would have assumed that the gravy had some sort of gluten in it, but it's not showing any in the ingredients, which is interesting. I probably should have got one of those to test as well. But the McFlurries, they are safe as well. And I've definitely had a few McFlurries and been fine. Obviously, it depends on what flavor you get, but the Score one I've had before and it's been fine. So, okay, it's been 5 minutes. Just trying to find the next things that I need. So I need 2 of these little test tubes and then 2 of these little pipettes. And we'll start with the French fries. So again, just like the last video, I'm gonna grab some of this fry juice. We're gonna put 10 drops into the vial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now for the burger juice. Grab some of that. And the last step is to take one of these test strips. I'm just gonna place it down in the vial and let that sit for 10 minutes. All right, while we're waiting, I'm just gonna remind everybody of the results. There's 5 different options there. Last time we got both negative results, which is those 2 lines right there. The 3 lines would be a positive result, but then there's also a high positive and a very high positive result. That one and that one. And then the last one there is invalid. I can already see some lines showing up. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy doing this. And I wish I could do it with everything that I ate. Like, even if I went to a restaurant and I wasn't exactly sure if I should eat it or not, just be able to like test something on the side of the table. I don't know how practical that would be, but that would just make me feel good inside to be able to test it and know for myself. I have started a list of different restaurants and things that I'd like to test out, but also, like I said in the last video, I'm thinking of testing out some things in grocery stores or like prepackaged foods or the frozen section, or things that are not specifically labeled gluten-free but don't have gluten ingredients, because if I know that it tested well the first time, I'd have more confidence in it the second time. Whereas if it's a restaurant item, I mean, the risk for cross-contamination the second time is so much higher. So still figuring out what I'm gonna test next. Okay, the results are ready. I just let the test strips sit for 5 minutes after I pulled them out of that vial, and we're gonna start with the French fries. So that's what the French fry looks like. And to me, that is a very negative result. If it were positive, there would be a third line there. And I've tried looking at it to see if there's even like a hint of a third line, and I see nothing. So the French fries are indeed gluten-free, well, at least this batch. And then for the hamburger, also again, negative. I'm seeing nothing. So again, that was just a plain hamburger patty. I thought out of both of these, that might have a risk for cross-contamination, depending if they've like placed the burger anywhere that they make the burgers with the buns. But I'm guessing maybe they just pulled it out of the tray and put it straight in the box. But yeah, completely negative. This actually makes me want to test something with gluten just to see what it would look like, or even like a trace of gluten, because I do want to see one with, not that I want any of these products to contain gluten, but I do want to see what it would look like with that third line. So maybe we'll have to put like a control product in the next video. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any requests of things that you want me to test out with these gluten-free test strips, definitely let me know. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.